We are having technical difficulties, people. So hold on one second. I'm bringing Isaac in here. He was not able to get into the stream. It's taking him a minute, having computer issues. Hold on one second. Isaac, are you there, sir?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Kind of.
Hello.
You're a little choppy.
Hello.
Yeah.
Better? All right. Do you have video?
For the most part.
You do see video?
Yeah, I see video. Yep. So.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my computer. It's not working. So.
Oh, that's not fun. So are you streaming off of your phone?
No, iPad.
Okay.
Yeah,
that'll work. We'll figure it out. And if your computer gets back up and running, we can swap back over. So
yeah,
it's really odd. So
yeah, it's very weird.
See, this is what happens when you don't do something for a minute, you know.
And then you come back, and here we are.
Yeah.
Well, hey.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. So
yeah,
it's like we've never streamed.
Try to restart the computer and restarting the computer. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So everybody, hang with us through these technical difficulties, and we'll have some really fun content for you tonight. So I'll talk since you're a little choppy. We got our 25th century hats on, you know.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So. But yeah, so tonight we're actually gonna be. This is the first time we've done a game chat in, man, it's been since July. Was the last time that
it has. It's been a minute.
It's been.
I think it was June when I looked at it. Yeah.
Okay, so it's been June, so it's been a minute. So most of the summer's passed. We're going to talk about summer gaming habits over the past couple of months and how our family does things a little differently during the summer months. And then Isaac actually went to Gen Con, so we're going to be talking about his very first experience with Gen Con. So I'm going to be interviewing Isaac since we don't have a guest tonight. Isaac, you're our guest. Me. Yeah. You'll be co-host and guest. Yeah. So
perfect.
That's how important you are. So I'm going to be talking about Gen Con and his first experience with Gen Con. And then we're going to be talking about a couple games that we've been playing. My list is going to be interesting. I changed it at the last minute. I've got a new game. I've got an old game, and I've got something in a brown paper bag.
Oh.
So, yeah.
That's a game.
Yeah. It's a game in the brown paper bag.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Interesting.
You'll have to stay for the end to know what it is. Or if you're watching this later, you just fast forward to the end and figure it out.
Yeah. So. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. You're sitting in for a whole time. So we'll see if your computer gets working. So
we shall see.
Anyway, since you're a Skull King fan, we played some Skull King last night. Just, side conversation here. Played some Skull King last night. Had a really good time with it. And man, Erin ate it hard. I think she was 170 points down. Could not win a hand. It was real bad. So played some 4-player Skull King. Yeah, it was bad. It was rough. So she usually is top or second or third. But nope, couldn't even get out of the zeros. So, all right.
So what's your last few months been? Got a chance to catch up with you every week?
Yeah. So last few months we've just been. We were going to talk about summer gaming, like how is summer gaming different than during the course of the normal year? I would say for us, summer gaming is a little more like loose and free. Like the kids are staying up later, and usually people are staying over later. But during the school year, we kind of lock it down. We don't do as much gaming. Oh, dropped. He's trying to get his computer to work, folks. So you're stuck here with me. How are you doing? Tell me in the comments right there. I'm going to make this as awkward as possible. There we are.
We good now?
We're good. Better audio, cleaner.
Excellent.
Yeah. Just need to restart that computer, man.
I guess I should do that more than once a year.
No, once every 3 years. So
It's fair.
no, that's good. Yeah, summer gaming for us is a little looser. We people stay over a little later, especially during the week. And I think that the no bedtime for the kids during the summer usually leads to like pulling out a heavier game at 8 o'clock, which doesn't happen during the school year.
Sure.
So it's really only the weekends when we kind of get into the heavier games. That's why I appreciate some of the smaller like 20-minute games. We like last night was a school night, Sunday night, and we had a couple friends over and we were just sitting around. We did a fantasy football draft. My son, my friend, and a couple people that are mutual friends of ours did a fantasy draft, and then afterwards played Point Salad and Skull King and couple rounds of Strike. So that was good. So
nice. Gotta
Yeah.
love Strike.
yeah. Oh, Brent does art. I'm good. Waiting for my all-in Masters of the Universe pledge from Simon. Ooh. I don't know. I really appreciate the. Were you a He-Man kid?
Oh
as a
yeah,
child.
100%.
Okay. Yeah. So I had all the He-Man. One of my fondest memories as a kid is that my mom told me to pick up a bucket of water and dump it like outside, and there were these steps off of our porch. Well, like an idiot, I carried the bucket of water in front of me because I was like 4 and so 5. And so I'm carrying it in front of me and I fall down the stairs. And so my mom felt so bad that she went to the store and bought me a He-Man figure. And so I remember it like it was yesterday. I bought Moss Man. Do you remember Moss Man? He smelt
Oh,
so
100%.
weird.
I still
because
have
of the
mine.
flocking. You still have that one?
Oh yeah, doesn't smell anymore though.
Ugh. No, it smelled so bad because of the flocking on it. It was gross. And so anyway, but yeah, Masters of the Universe is having a resurgence. So summer gaming for you, Isaac. Tell us how it kind of is different.
Yeah, I mean, we play a fair amount of games with the family year round, but like you said, summer kind of leads to having people around a little bit,
Mhm.
hanging out in the evenings. We'll play some lighter games after dinner, but
Yeah.
it does allow for, the kids have some time, so they're interested in trying out some games and playing things that maybe we wouldn't normally get to the table. So it feels like it's not more or less, it's just different, right?
It is. Yeah.
I feel like when it's cold out, we're kind of hunkered down and we're playing stuff, but now we have more time, so it's afforded us some opportunities to try out some new stuff. And I always enjoy having people over because that's when I'm more likely to get my wife to learn a new game, is if somebody's here.
Yeah. That's good. And with the cooler weather, which will eventually start at some point, with the cooler weather, we're going to get into fall, which spooky season, my favorite.
Oh, it
My
is your
favorite of all the seasons. So love my Halloween. I've already stopped by many places to just touch ceramic pumpkins and like, I don't know, rub skeleton towels against my body. I don't know. It's really it's really uncomfortable. Like the people at Ross had to tell me to leave.
I do think of you when I see the Halloween decorations. So.
Thank you. I get that a lot. Simon posted something. It was like immediately thought of Ryan, and then somebody was going through. They saw it in their feed. They were like, "I knew this had to do with Ryan." So, geez, I think Derek was like, "Yeah, I knew this was a post that somebody posted on Ryan's wall." So.
Yeah, you've become synonymous. Not a bad thing to be synonymous with.
Yeah, no, it's completely good. I mean, I'm already trying to figure out at what point do I decorate my yard so that I'm not called trash, by my neighbors. So we'll figure it out.
Probably not yet. I think you got a little bit of
Not
time.
yet, but September, I think it's free game.
That's fair.
If
I
people
think
can
that's
leave
fair.
if people can leave their Christmas trees up for 2 months, I can leave my Halloween decorations up 2 months early.
I
Right?
think that's fair. Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Totally think that's fair.
That's right. Anyway, so we're going to be talking about Gen Con. This was your very, very first time at Gen
Yep.
Con. I have
Number
yet
one.
to go to Gen Con, so you are you're light years ahead of me and Aaron, and so you're basically a professional now, professional
man.
Gen Conner.
Yeah.
We're going to call you.
Don't tell everybody.
Oh man, I should have made a little caption. I'm going to make a caption while you talk. Professional Gen Conner. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
10 years
so
at Origins, but 1 year at Gen Con. So
yeah. So so tell me about like your first experience with Gen Con was like how does it differ from Origins in the biggest, like kind of like the bullet points of how it's different than Origins?
yeah, for sure. I mean, I've done Origins for the last 10 years. We always do the long trip there. I've done PAX for the last 3 years. And so always thought PAX was like a step above Origins as far as like size and people that you had there, and just the way it was run. I thought PAX was so much smoother. And Gen Con, I remember I walked into the
There you go. You got your right there. right there.
I remember
You got
I
it right
walked
there.
in.
That's
I
yours.
walked into the exhibit, not the exhibit hall, the like the area where people were playing like Magic and all the demo stuff, and I'm like, is this the main? Like, I'm looking around like, this is the main part of the hall. They're like, no, the exhibit hall is past this. And you get in the exhibit hall and you realize the sheer size is like, it's daunting. 25th Century Games.
That's true.
Do we have a
got the
sponsorship?
hats.
We need
No, why don't we have a sponsorship? We
Chad,
got On
come
the
on.
Rocks
Come on,
right
bro.
over here. Come on.
Come on, bro.
What are you doing, Chad? You know that if we say his name twice or 3 times, he'll just appear out of nowhere. So
Chattel juice. But yeah, I think once you get in the exhibit hall, like you realize the sheer size is crazy. It is probably 3 times the size of Origins. It may be bigger than that in the exhibit hall area, just in that area. And then when you get to the hotels, like they have these ballrooms that are like ginormous with just hundreds and hundreds of people in each ballroom playing games, demoing stuff. I didn't even get over to the football field, which I really wanted to go check out Lucas Oil. If I get a chance to see that. But the size is just like, I don't know how to say other than like exhausting, right? The booths, there was 2-story booths here, right? eBay had a 2-story booth.
So eBay with the the announcement today, it was kind of crazy that so eBay was at Gen Con, had a huge presence at Gen Con from what I hear, and they just announced that they have bought what was it?
TCG Player.
TCG Player, yeah. So
and last year they were there with some like TCG card stuff. This year they were advertising the Vault, which is their like CCG Pokemon trading card way to, like, you buy a card from eBay, they store it in their secure area so you can buy or sell it from a secure spot. They're very much into the like checking everything and make sure it's going to work out. And we actually heard the story behind this game, but basically it lined up for a very good time for somebody to say, hey, I'm interested, I can make a game. And she designer of this, Danielle, she got to have a game she made literally everywhere. Like, there were so many copies of this thing because it was free. They were giving it away. And it looks like a super solid bidding game. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. Production's
That's pretty
great.
cool. I didn't even know that it was free. That's awesome.
Yeah, they gave you the
Facebook
game.
user.
Who's that?
Facebook user. I'm guessing it's Chad not giving permission to restream. So I really miss seeing Ryan, and Isaac's here too. So
that's lovely.
I hope it's Chad. I like when Chad slights people. So
it's not in my chat. It must be in your post of it. If it's Chad, please Facebook user, tell us who you are.
Yes.
So if you went to the eBay booth, you signed up for this Vault thing, they gave you the game, a $10 gift card to eBay, and a huge dragon pin, like the really nice Pin Trader Bazaar.
Yeah.
They just were like, here you go. And then they had mystery boxes hidden around the convention, if you could find them, that had hundreds and thousands of dollars worth of like Magic cards and supplies.
That's crazy.
Trading cards.
That's wild.
Somebody found one like wedged between 2 booths. It was nuts. But yeah, eBay, like, Spiel Spiel des Jahres is there. Like they have a
Mhm.
booth just to say, hey, we give awards every year for games, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
stuff that you're never gonna see. Plan B had like a huge booth there that I didn't
Yeah,
even
yeah.
know was there. I completely missed it because
That's
you know,
cool.
we'll talk about my walking around in a minute, but there was definitely some speed walking to try and see as much as
Oh yeah,
possible.
yeah. Yeah, it gets overwhelming, at least in Origins, especially the first couple of years, trying to see everything. And I could just imagine walking into Gen Con for the very first time, being like, I don't even know where to start. The checklist
Yeah.
is so big, and then you
It's
still feel like
crazy.
you can't see everything. So what did you do? Actually, one of the things that you did at Gen Con, you weren't just covering Gen Con for Gaming with Sidekicks. You were actually there supporting and working in a booth. How was that? And where'd you work?
I was, yeah. I'm rocking my work shirt.
There
There
you
it
go.
is. I was working for Wise Wizard Games, most known for Star Realms, Hero Realms, Epic.
Is that because you
And
continuously beat me in Hero Realms? That's how they got you in the booth. It was kind
man,
of
there's
like a
like this
celebrity
there's a couple
situation.
people that I do really good against, and
Mhm.
some I do really bad against, and it's like this weird balance with Hero Realms.
Well,
With
I
that.
beat you last week
Mhm.
on Hero Realms digital through the app, and it felt so good to beat you. But then the very next game, you just decimated me. I was like, you know what? Things are back in order. Like the world feels right. There were some shaky times that one day where I had a single win against you, and I felt very insecure about my life. So
Our buddy
thank you for
Matt,
putting things right.
from over at Skybound, he had me 9 games to 0 that he just
Ugh.
pummeled me, and I have won the last 9 games we've played, so we're actually tied up 9-9.
Nice.
So, and Derek plays it hundreds of times a day, he said. So he
Jeez.
just pummels me.
It's a lot.
Yeah, but you know, it's a company. Speaking of which, that's how I got connected in with Wise Wizard, and
Yep.
you know, he said, "Hey, we could use some help for somebody who can teach some games. We know people know Star Realms, Hero Realms, Epic."
Mhm.
He's like, "Are you familiar with Sorcerer?" And I had demoed Sorcerer pre-pandemic,
Okay.
and I think it hit their Kickstarter in 2019, and then the world kind
Mhm.
of crashed around, and so people kind of,
Yep.
I think, forgot about games that came out in 19, right?
Yeah.
Especially as they
Yeah.
led into the end of the year. So he sent me a copy, played it a bunch, got a chance to learn it, and demoed it out every day. Right, I was there Friday,
That's cool.
Saturday, Sunday. Saturday was it was 10 to 6. It was a long day.
Yeah.
It was
Absolutely.
probably like around 2 o'clock where I was like, oh shoot, I was supposed to take a break at noon. Like,
Yeah.
because you just like you're hopping and you're teaching this game, and it's hard with a mask, especially with that game because it's very word heavy and
Mhm.
key context. And so it was fun teaching it to people that were like, some of them were like, hey, I bought this on the Kickstarter and never got a chance to learn it. Can you teach it to me? Which
Yeah.
I've totally done that at conventions before. Teach me this
Absolutely.
game because I want to play it. You and I
Yes.
did that at Origins with
Yeah.
this guy
Yep.
right here,
With
Sorcerer's Arena.
Sorcerer's Arena. Yep.
Yeah. And so like I got that. Some people just wanted to demo it out because they had heard about it or seen it. And literally some people walked by, looked down at the table and were like, I want to learn that. Can you teach me that? Like, yeah, sure.
Cool.
We started with 2 tables of it, 2 games of it, and we ended up with 6 games of it at one point. We had to like
Nice.
close some of the other tables. So I got to do it with a gentleman named Chris Swan, who's a designer who's got a couple games coming up in the near future. And it was cool because we both like could riff off of each other really well and had a good handle on the game. So it was
That's excellent.
very different from that perspective of working in a
Mhm.
booth.
Yep.
Those of us that go and do coverage or just go as, you know, just consumers, I like at Origins to go back in the middle of the day, take a quick nap
Mhm.
before dinner, maybe an hour if I get a chance.
Yeah.
Hotel's close enough. Like, I understand why all of our friends that work these booths are so exhausted by the evening
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I was just wore out. Like,
Yeah.
at one
You're like, why can't you play games till 2 in the morning? What's your problem?
like I
So,
still did it, but I was so tired.
oh yeah, I
And you
believe it.
know, being up on your feet and teaching and standing in one spot. And Chris, our buddy, charity board gamer Chris, had a
Mhm.
meetup, and we were playing Green Team as we do.
As
And
we do.
Derek's like, "Oh, we're getting another game of it going." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." And I'm looking around, and I like walked out in the hall and just laid on a bench. I'm like, I'm not usually I need to disconnect kind of guy,
Mhm.
but like, man, I was feeling that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
just a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But But yeah, it was fun working with the booth. I think it's a great opportunity for people that love games. If you can
Yep.
reach out to companies, there are a lot of companies that were in need, like desperate need for help
Oh,
right up to
absolutely.
the end.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to get in. There's some companies that pay, some do room and board, some do kind of a
Mhm.
mix of it. And I was very
Yeah, and
happy with how they took
it's a
care of
good
me.
way to make it affordable. You know,
Oh,
I
for sure.
know we've talked about Aaron and I especially have talked about the fact that the going to these conventions, especially going to multiple conventions a year, if you don't have some way to fund it, like I'm very thankful. This was this was a really cool situation. The very first time Aaron and I went to Origins, we didn't have the money to go to Origins. Like we weren't even close. And so we were just going to have to put it on a credit card. And I had a guy at work who really, I really appreciate the fact that he brought this up to some of my coworkers. And my job has nothing to do with board games, but I serve a lot of different capacities, both at work and doing things around the community. And he got together some coworkers, and they donated and gave us some money to go on the road to Origins. And it
That's
was like
awesome.
one of the most touching things. Like this is our first year going to Origins, and it was one of the most touching things to have people say, "We know you're looking forward to this. We know it's going to put a strain on your family. Let's help." You know, so yeah, definitely. If you can join a booth and help out and support a company and make it happen, yeah, that's awesome. So
That's awesome. Love it.
yeah.
It was
So
Derek that was making the rude comments
oh,
when he
it's
said,
Derek. Nice.
yeah,
Okay.
big surprise.
So what stood out to you the most at Gen Con? So what's something that you would say
Um,
this was a bright point?
Yeah, definitely seeing so many different companies that you normally didn't see, or seeing
Yep.
companies you do see bring out their big guns, like their
Oh
big
yeah, yeah.
space coverage. And like I said, Plan B really stood out with their size to me. But even, for example, Renegade, right? Think about Origins. I think about the space
Yeah.
Renegade Studios has. It
Yeah.
was 4 times that here, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Parks. Who's it that makes Parks?
Keymaster.
Keymaster Games had a huge
Yeah.
presence, and that's
awesome.
another interesting thing. You talk about like ways to go, like Tantrum House were there, right?
Yeah.
The Delps were there working it, so they get to have a presence, they get to help out, they probably get, it's a good way for them to be able to afford to come.
Yeah.
The thing that really stood out probably the most to me as the one big real media thing I didn't really set up meetings, I didn't really have the time to, but I set up one thing, and AEG had a media event that you could sign up for, limited seating or limited spacing. And they're like, go to this hotel and go to this presidential suite on the top floor. And I'm like, really? Of the hotel? Like, okay, that seems kind of
Okay.
odd. So there's like 30 of us stand out in the hall waiting to get in this room. I'm like, this
Mhm.
seems weird, right? But we walk in and they treated us to what felt like a small version of like an E3 or like a San Diego Comic Con. They had on the big screen like
Yeah.
literal promo videos for all their games for the next year.
That's cool.
And then they had 3 demo tables set up, and they're like, here's Ready Set Bet, here's Wormholes, here's
Yeah.
that old wallpaper, here's the designer of that old wallpaper,
Yep.
Nathan Thornton. And I
Nathan.
I
Yeah.
walked in, Nathan's standing there. I'm like, oh man, Nathan, I'm so glad I got to see you.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were the first meeting, and they go up and they go, Nathan, would you like to describe your game? And he goes, okay, okay, I'm gonna describe the game. Here we go. Ready? Go. And he goes through, and and the energy, and I love Nathan. Like I love just being
Love Nathan.
around him. I love his personality. And they were talking about one of the games being designed, by this guy who designed this and this. And they're like, and Nathan goes, oh, did you want to talk about the designer of that old wallpaper, Nathan, and the other games he's designed? And everybody's just kind of looking. He's like, that person's me. I'm that other person. And he's like, I did
Funny.
Medium, and people are like, yeah, and
Yeah.
I did Green Team Wins, and I gave him a big,
There we go.
big hand for that also. But it was
That's
just
awesome.
it was just fun being part of something that felt very like media savvy, right?
Yeah.
The other conventions I'd never really had seen that, so that was really cool.
It reminds me of what was it? It was trying to think of who did that. Oh man, I'm trying to remember. North Star Games did
Yeah,
a
something
media
similar.
thing a couple of years ago at Origins, and so they set up they had the saloon space set up for media, and they gave copies of Most Wanted, which was a kind of like an old west poker style game, where you're trying to rob banks and outdo each other and become the most wanted criminal in the old west. And so they had these they had rented out the space and like saloon doors, and people were dressed up in like old western gear. It was really fun. Like it really, that's a memorable interaction. That's something
Oh,
that's
yeah.
super memorable to me, you know.
And that's how this felt, right? I was like, oh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
remember this, right? Like, and it's just
Absolutely.
it was just cool to see. They gave us like bags with some games to check out, but they also gave us like a real pirate coin because of Dead
That's cool.
Reckoning, right? And
Nice.
it was neat to see the personal touch, right?
Yeah.
Of like, hey, we are excited to work with you guys, and here's some stuff to take
Yeah.
with you. And I loved
And
it. It was
if that bag had a copy of Wormholes in it, I can send you over my address. You know,
Mhm.
just
it may
just-
have had
it could
wormholes.
just show up at my doorstep and
You
stuff
probably
like that.
will not.
Oh, jeez, I really want to play that game.
Yeah, I got to play some neat
Oh,
stuff. Like I
yeah.
really, they said like the convention. Here's the daunting size thing to me. Bigfoot, right? The original Bigfoot was there. You've probably seen some of the media
And
with that, right? The original
Yeah.
1976
Adam told me about
truck.
that.
So cool,
Yeah.
right? Went and saw like it took me 2 days to find Bigfoot.
Really?
Like
That's
it
crazy.
wasn't like, oh look, it's in the middle hall. It was like tucked away in a part of the other
That's
part
crazy.
of one of the spots that you just like.
You would think you would see a gigantic truck.
Yeah,
You
no
know,
way.
so that's
The
wild.
food trucks were crazy outside. The spots, there was nowhere to sit. Oh, you've seen Card Hala probably like in
Yep,
social media with
yep.
that was really cool. Like on one of my breaks, I walked by and I stopped, took some video of it, and I was like, wow, this is just like
It's cool.
there was a room for like not garage sale. What do I want to say? Like if you're like
Flea market.
room, and the line to get in the flea market room was hundreds of
Ugh.
people long.
I
But-
believe it. But
But it was
that could
it was
not
really
be fun.
cool. Derek told me the way they did it. So let's say you put your copy of Viral in there, as I get sitting up here.
Mhm.
Friday, Viral, I want $40 for it. Saturday, I'll take $35. Sunday, if it's still here, $5. So the
Okay.
last day was like drastic pricing. So people were waiting things out and trying to get in. So
Gotcha.
it was neat. It was very neat to see how that worked. But I mean,
That's
Hasbro
cool.
was there, Mattel was there. Like
Yep.
those are not companies you're gonna ever see at Origins,
No,
right?
no.
I mean, you're not gonna leave with a copy of Uno All Wild
All wild.
from Origins. This
And
game is dumb.
I love my copies of Uno. You've definitely overheard me talk about that.
I bought this for fun. We played it one night.
Oh,
It was
jeez.
it's the rules say play a card, name a color. It doesn't matter because there are no colors because everything's wild. But name one anyway for fun.
I'm getting angry. Did so you mentioned something about food trucks.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about the food.
So we were lucky to find an Eagle. So they did have an Eagle
Yep.
In Indy. So we went there, did the family meal. It was a ton of food. It was really good. But we ended up at a burger joint. The name is escaping me right now. That we went to that had burgers that, I mean, they were giant. Mine was, it had pulled pork, bacon, and 2 burger patties with cheese and everything on it. Simon got one that had burger patty, fried blackened chicken, a waffle, syrup, and then bacon on top of that. So it was
Sounds pretty good.
chicken and waffle burger.
Yeah.
They had some crazy. They had one with Oreos on it. It was nuts. But
Okay. Nice.
I went out and looked at the food truck situation. We were lucky that we had lunch kind of brought into our booth. Had some good stuff for that. But the food trucks it was crazy looking outside.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is my first time not having like a full grasp. It felt, and from things I hear from people, we got North Market in Columbus. We've got Reading Terminal Market in Philly. We don't have anything like that here. So there wasn't like the food trucks were the version of that, but there was nowhere to sit there. It was very like, I mean, there's just a lot of people, right? So trying to get in and do anything. They did bring us in. It was like Chipotle, but with Mediterranean food. So you got to pick like a bunch of different things in a bowl. That was super good.
That's cool.
But yeah, very different setup. I think, if you compare Columbus, Philly, and Indy, Philly is really hard to beat. The food is amazing there. So many good choices.
That's awesome. Yep. PAX Unplugged is coming up. Are you going to it?
Yes, sir. Bob and I will be there.
Bob should be covering it from One Board Family, which would be awesome.
He said he's going to be covering it for Game of Sidekicks this year. So,
whatever.
Yeah, we've got a few people planning to go do that, and it's interesting now to look at it and go, do I want to work a convention or do I want to go to like just hang out and do media
because
coverage?
You've experienced both at this point.
And financially, I see the benefit to the work, but also it kills the exhibit hall time. Like your time frame.
You can't accurately cover it. I mean, unless you are just dog tired running on 3 hours of energy. I mean,
I will. There's one company in particular that, from what I heard from talking to some other media people who are working, that will do like half. You work half the day. And that seems like the better way to go. But PAX is end of November. It's November 30th. I'm looking at the calendar real quick.
Yeah, it's right after Thanksgiving. So
it's calendar's not coming up. I want to say it's November 30th. It's whatever that week after Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving's on the 24th.
November 30th is when I'm leaving. It doesn't actually start till December 1st. It's I think it's first, second,
December
third,
1st through the 4th.
There you go.
So,
coming up in Philly.
Yeah, Philadelphia. It's we hear great things about it. Bob loves it. He'll
got to get to one of those too.
Third time. Yeah, so we're not going to be around the following week after, and there'd be no way that I could go to both. So
that's fair.
Yeah. So
Taylor, they are like the rest of the major conventions requiring vaccination and mask, and I don't see that changing.
I feel like that's going to be there for a while. So
I would agree.
Yep. So this is where you have to make some decisions, Isaac. You have top 5 games from Gen Con. What are the 5 games that stood out to you? These are 5 games that, man, you can't get them out of your head. So
it's true. I didn't even bother to grab the first one because it's so huge and it's sitting over there. Yeah. But I ran. Hey, we got Jason in there, Mr. Jason Evans.
Oh, we should rename it the 25th Century Hat Chat. Jason,
I tagged Chad to see if he wants to spot.
He's doing things. He's a busy man. He's a busy man. We can't. He's out here wheeling and dealing, making games. He's publishing Green Team Wins Again. The sequel to Green Team Wins. Green Team Wins.
That's not a thing
3
yet.
So
Green Team's part due. Dow. I don't know how to pronounce that. Day. So I pre-ordered and picked up because Derek taught me, and darn him, I had to get. I'm not
gonna learn it, because if I learn it, then I'm gonna have to spend $300.
My gosh, it is. We have played it every night in the last week, between game night, between with friends, between my son teaching it, just my wife and I playing, teaching my son, and then him literally asking the next day, last Wednesday, he's like, can we play this again? And that's not like, Ethan will play games, but he's not always like, can I play this specific game? Man, there's no one I've introduced that yet to that was like, like it's so good. Could it have been made out of cardboard pieces and cost a third of the price? 100%.
Yep.
But man, that game is
really solid.
It's so good. So Foundations of Rome, even though it didn't come out at Gen Con, is still my was probably one of the best things I grabbed there.
Yep.
Heavy as heck also to walk back.
Yeah, I believe it. Tater Tots Ahoy looks promising too. So Ahoy was that released At
It was limited.
Gen Con? Okay.
Yeah, they had a lot of companies had like the limited, we have so many copies of this, right?
Yep.
And even with Chad, he had Green Team, but he sold out a Green Team on Thursday, like
Oh,
the
I believe
first
it.
day.
Yeah.
Every
We
day.
had to, the people that we've bought Green Team for in Columbus keep telling us, hey, I showed some people this. They need it. Where can we get it? And so,
Pre-order it. You got to pre-order it. He
gotta
said that
pre-order it.
pre-orders may exceed the retail. Like there may not be enough to go to
Ugh.
retail because so many people are pre-ordering this thing.
This game,
So
we talked about it for a year. Come on, people.
get it.
Anyway,
So there was a lot of like Miniature Market had Twilight Inscription,
Yep,
the
I saw
roll
that.
and write. Like they had 70 copies a day. It was gone like that.
Oh yeah,
Right? Like
yeah.
just like I went over to Chad's booth on Friday afternoon and it looked like a tornado had gone through it. Like he was selling demo copies. He was selling like things are just moving. There's a lot of people buying a lot of games. Speaking of
What's your number
not,
two?
not
Number two
20th
game?
century at all, but I'm gonna go with that old
That
wallpaper
old wallpaper.
from my friend Nathan.
Yes.
AEG simple card game. It's not there's a very simple understanding to this game, and when I say simple, I don't mean it's easy to do. It's just easy to understand.
Yeah, yeah.
And the game really screams what the title is the cards look like that old wallpaper.
Old wallpaper.
My favorite is, and he pointed this out, is my grandparents had this, is the like foily, the gold, like the like you could scratch at it.
Yep.
So they said AEG said this is the first time they've done like foil embossing on a card.
Nice.
So it's fun. It's light. It's one that we've gotten to the table a few times, and definitely has more than just lay a card and hope for the best strategy to it.
Yeah,
There's some movement and thought with it. So he did an excellent job with this one.
That's awesome.
Number
Very
two,
cool.
another small box game. Got introduced this first night from Board Game Tables, and that's Dandelions.
Dandelions. I played that with Bob. A couple
super good, right?
Yeah, it's really good. So
two or three players. I don't love the player count. I wish it was 4, but but it's light. It's a 10-minute game, right? It's simple. It's light. It does what it says it does, right? The dice float around. I love a dice roller. Like what's the little one from Calliope? Roll for it.
Roll for it. Yeah.
Same type of like simple. Roll some dice. Place some dice. And here we go. So.
One of the things I like about that game is that you can try to backstab somebody. You can really try to mess somebody up and then have it turn right back around on you. So we, when I was playing myself, Aaron and Bob, we were playing that game, and I had this great setup where I was going to shove Aaron into a specific card, and I was like, this is going to go really well, and then ended up. The game ended and it completely backfired. I ended up pushing her, I think, into first or second place, and I wasn't even close. So my score was utter trash.
I love that. I love to hear that.
So yeah. Oh, you like that, don't you? So what's your next game?
I am gonna go with Blue Orange game. Blue Orange is fast becoming like I will buy whatever you put out because I love
They put out a lot of games every year.
They do, but they're also like good, simple, light, hit the table. Them and Game Right are my two. Like, if I had somebody say, "Is there a company I should grab something from?" You're not going to be disappointed for the most part with them. But this Flippin' Right, Next Station London.
Yes, Next Station London. I played that on Board Game Arena. Yep.
Yes, so good. I love it's got 4 colored pencils. You rotate them around, taking different paths. You can add powers to the pencils. If you like a good rolling right, flipping right type of game, it does what it says it's going to do, it lays it out very, very well. So
it's got cute artwork too. So
it does for sure. My last one is not a game that's available, but was probably the most fun we had 2 years ago. We played Green Team Wins with Chad and loved the prototype, loved playing it, had a blast. Now he's got one coming. It's going to be called Mutton Busting.
Josiah played Mutton Busting at Southern Fried. Yep.
Did you get to play it?
No, I watched Josiah play it with a couple of our friends for like 30, 40 minutes. Yep.
We had some people playing that I was like, I don't know if they're going to love this, that were getting into it.
Really?
like crazy, hooting,
That's awesome.
hollering, screaming,
Yeah.
singing, barking. It was it's gonna be a fun little party, silly, light game.
Yeah.
But again, it is the kind of game with the right group of people, you're gonna have a blast.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
you got a bunch of very I don't really want to think like Happy
Yeah.
Salmon, right? Like you got to play with the right group of people for a game like
You
Happy
gotta,
Salmon.
you gotta just jump in. Yeah.
And so it's got that entertaining, fun, silly, light feel to it, and I
That's cool.
I had a blast with it. I
That's
think
good.
Chad's got another good game on his hands.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's awesome. Mutton busting.
Mutton busting.
Next 2023, I believe. All right, so we're going to finish up this episode talking about games that we've been playing. I kind of teased mine. I got a new game, an old game, and a game in a paper bag. So what do you want me to start with?
Paper bag.
Paper bag starting big.
I've been wondering this whole time. I couldn't fast forward.
I know. You had to sit all through your droning.
I had to sit through me talking. Ugh.
It's the worst.
That's why we have guests.
I know. All right, let's see. Okay,
You have to agree so quickly.
Oh, I agree real quick. This right here is Aquamarine. Aquamarine is a print and play that was on Kickstarter from Postmark Games. It was on Kickstarter for probably 2 weeks or 3 weeks maybe. It is really fun. I've told you before, I don't solo game. I've solo gamed a couple times. It's not my preference. Let me tell you, I've solo gamed this one 5 times. Okay. If a game can make me sit down by myself and roll dice and play just to play, it's a solid hit. What you've got right here, and I laminated this myself, so I sent this
Very
over
nice.
to Home Depot, Office Depot, and have it laminated. This is map number 1. This is map number 2 on the backside. You've got sharks and different squid animals and stuff on the backside. 2 different rule sets, slightly different rules, but essentially what you're doing is you're trying to dive off of any of these 3 boats, and you're diving down and you're seeing different things as you go. You've got these air tanks that fill up as you commit to higher die rolls, and as you go further down. The game is really fun, and because it plays so well at solo player, as a solo player game, they have this thing called the Diver's Log. The Diver's Log is basically things that you can achieve, like discover at least 3 stingrays, or discover both pairs of beacons. And you check them off as you go, and you put your score in the little box. So I've been working my way through the Diver's Log, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So we previewed it on oneboardfamily.com when it was live on Kickstarter, and this is a game that you can actually pay for $5 and get right this second over at Postmark's website. It is fantastic.
That's awesome.
And the great part about the company Postmark Games, they actually support the game for the life of however long it lasts, and they're going to continue to come out with maps. And if you purchase it, you have access to those future maps too. So
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, really good. So that was what was in the paper bag.
Well, I've obviously been playing a lot of the stuff you already saw.
Mhm.
A couple little things. This one I picked up there, had a chance to play it, really enjoyed it. Guild of the Merchant Explorers. Super good, right? You got it up there? Yeah. It's a flipping right, basically, with cubes.
Yeah.
Right. I really enjoy the connection of the kingdom, the exploration, the push out and push back, right? And it's been super good.
I feel like you have to get your first game in, make all the mistakes, and then this is one of those games that immediately after finishing it, I was like, I want to run that one back. I want to play it again because I know how many mistakes I made.
That's fair.
My next one is a newer game, Orlog. This is from Hachette Games. This is a This is a dice rolling game, 2-player. Aaron and I played the other day. I've played this with Josiah. I've played it with a couple friends of mine when they come by the house. It's a really cool dice rolling game. It's very simple. This is a game that was in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So if you played that game quite a bit, you ran into some games of Orlog in the pubs and things like that. This is our review of this goes up tomorrow. So if you're watching this, whether it's now or later, Tuesday morning, our full review of this game will be on oneboardfamily.com. The production value is solid, but there's some missteps with print choices that they made and font choices and stuff that makes the game slightly frustrating. But if you know the game, if you feel comfortable with the game, once you ease into that, the game's really fun. Plays 15 to 20 minutes. It's one that easily could just sit in the living room and be one of those, hey, we're watching the football game. You want to throw Orlog on the table while we play?
Throw some on.
While we watch,
Nice.
So,
You said
yeah.
Tachette?
Yep. So,
Nice. They had a great presence too. They had a huge booth there.
yeah. I feel like they've done a really good job with the conventions they've been at. So
We were right next to Restoration Games. I went over and said hi. I said I knew Ryan from One Board Family, and they literally asked me to leave.
Figures.
Then I sent you Aaron, and they said, "Come on in, sir.
Come on in. The world is open to you." That's great. That's awesome.
I got one more thing I want to share. It's not a game that I play, but
Yeah.
I forgot to mention this as I
Is it Pogs?
sip my.
Oh man, that
Sovereignty.
sovereignty mug. Here's the thing. I love me some sovereignty. I've even been called a sovereignty shill before.
Oh, you are. I agree.
Yeah, that's what people call me behind my back. I don't know. I'm really jealous of all the cool sovereignty stuff that people that went to Gen Con.
I think there's probably one for you somewhere also, if I had to
Really?
guess.
Okay.
I think so.
I
You
love
saw
me
the
some
Lego
sovereignty.
figure, right?
Yes,
You saw the Legos?
Yes,
Do you
I
see
did.
ours? Do you see the
Yes.
it's sitting over there. I
amazing.
didn't grab it. But Danny custom made all of them. Like the brick
That's
has
so cool.
like where our sidekicks are, it was a brick. It was so awesome. She
Oh,
was
that's
so
so
excited
cool.
to share these
Yeah.
things. She's like, "Can you please open it right now?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I can open it." It had like stuff to make tea with, and I
Yeah.
am very guilty of
Okay.
pronouncing it sovereignty.
Yeah, you
and
mess it up all the time.
all the time. But I can tell you, with all of this tea stuff they gave me,
Yeah.
I will never not pronounce it correct as sovereignty.
That's good. So they
100%.
paid you off to say their name correctly.
I'm a
That's
shill.
where I
Check it
messed
out.
up. That's where I messed up. I've been saying their name correctly since day 2.
And look, but they're doing
there
some
we
cool
go.
stuff at conventions, right? Like
That's
they
right.
had
Yeah,
media
it's
people, they
amazing.
had Grant, they had Danny, like they had all these people you could come just hang out and make stuff. Like they're doing something
Yes.
different, and
are.
their difference in the space is standing out.
Yes.
Like, and it's
The sovereignty booth at Origins felt like a refuge. That's what it felt like.
it's a
It
great
was
way to
just
put
so
it.
chill,
Yeah.
and it was such a fun time. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. So I've got Tony. I'm with Ryan. First play, push all the buttons. Yep. So I think he's talking about merchants.
Yeah.
So
Tony's coming to PAX with us for his first PAX. He's going to be
nice.
there. Simon's coming just to relax and play games,
Okay.
not to actually,
Work.
not to have to work. Yeah. So
That's cool.
Troy's going to be there. Do you know Troy? He's coming
Yes,
with
I know
the
Troy.
group also.
He's-
Wasn't he from
yeah,
your guys'
he's
area
From Columbus.
originally?
Yeah.
Or
So
yeah,
yep.
that's
I
right.
played games with Troy when he lived here. Yep. So
So
that's
we're a good
awesome.
group. We just need you, Ryan.
Man, I'm going out of town. I'm going out of the country
No,
next
it's-
week, so it's
That's
not
fine.
gonna happen. So
It'll be fine.
Um,
Aaron said it's fine.
yeah, Aaron said you can go. So, and miss your flight to Europe. So, home stretch. I found this one.
That's an old
So
one.
do you have
yeah.
a second in Charles? Do you have a second in Charles where you live?
No, I don't know what that means. I didn't understand your question.
Oh, okay. So
Is that a store?
Yeah, like it's a media store.
Okay.
Think of like a Fry's or something like that. They've got tons of
Okay.
stuff. They've
Best
got
Buy.
DVDs, CDs. They've got LPs. They've got
VHS.
they probably do. They've got half of their store is a bookstore. They take trade-ins. So this was a trade-in. Home stretch is I've been digging the horse betting games. Long Shot, one of my
Oh, yeah.
favorite releases of this year. Long Shot, the dice game. So I found Home Stretch sitting on the shelf. Somebody brought it in. It's in near perfect condition. It's 10 years old. It rates fine, on BGG, but there's some people who are really hype on this game. It's a betting game where you're just putting in you basically have the odds of the horses out in front of you, along with handicaps that are assigned to each horse during the round, and then you're bidding on whether it's going to place show. What is it? Win, place, or show.
Yeah.
And then you're using a multiplier in order to earn money. And I mean, the game goes into the 100 plus thousand range with your score, and it is stupid fun. Like, it is dumb.
100,000 points.
Yeah. So what was let me look up what our scores were. The other night, we played it the other night for the very first time, and we had a blast. Like, we just kept by the third round of it, we're yelling at the horses. We're like, come on, Don, come on, screaming at these stupid horses.
That's hilarious.
Let's see.
I'm told that is similar to the gameplay for this guy, which I still need to get to the table, but there's a lot of yelling and screaming and and that mentality.
Because I can't get a hold of that game. I had to buy something 10 years old. So
it was at Gen Con.
I know it was at Gen Con.
Next year.
So next year. The winner from this past the last time we played Home Stretch, the winner had $197,000.
That's
and I
crazy.
came in third place with $150,000.
And you play with all ones?
All $1 bills. It's insane. Like 95% of this box is just Monopoly money. So anyway, no, it's really fun. It's really good. So
yeah, I've heard nothing but great stuff. I love a good horse racing anything. So
I feel like horse racing is the new bird game.
I like
birds.
They had promo cards for Long Shot there, so I was able to get all the Kickstarter extras. They're selling them as little. I'm sorry, I lost the audio there.
You heard me. You heard me. I hate you. Anyway, thanks. I was gonna treat you like a drug mule, and you can help me get all the things I need, but no, I guess you can't.
Like this one.
Oh man, come on! Just give me the game. Just send it to me. What are you doing? You've got work.
It's still in plastic.
See, I would have already played it. Jeez, people.
Open it with my teeth.
Best horse racing game out.
Oof. For me, it's Long Shot.
A Long Shot, the dice game. I love it so much.
Yeah.
I played it 10 times in the first couple of weeks I had it. So Val says hello. Hey Val,
my favorite favorite of that couple.
Yes. So Bob's a close second.
Yeah, he's in the top two for sure.
Top two, definitely.
For sure.
So I always tell I do this thing with my kids whenever I need something. I'll be like, hey, I really need a glass of water. Can you put some ice in it and maybe a lemon? Whoever gets it, they'll come back and I'll be like, you know what? I just want to make sure that I've said this to you today. You're my favorite kid. And then I start going through the order, and I'll throw the dogs in there. At one point we had chickens in the backyard, so every once in a while the chickens would be thrown in there. So it'd be like Kendall and then Emily and then two of the chickens, and I'd name the chickens by name, and then Josiah and then one of the dogs. And now the order just changes every time.
And your favorite two board games get in there, and
I throw Fireball Island in there. It's like
you're just ahead of Fireball Island.
Just ahead of Fireball Island. So if you had to buy a horse racing Long Shot, I mean, you can't beat it. 20-25 minutes, easy to teach, roll and write. You can play it again real quick. It's solid.
It is
the way
super
the
good.
box clasps.
Man, that is the thing right now, right? Like that's this guy is doing that.
The clasps,
the magnet.
And some people hate those.
I love it. I'm
there's some. I love them. Yeah, some of the old games, the magnet's too weak. But these newer games, they got it right. So,
yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, that's it for the game chat. It was a good hour hanging out with you, the Sovereignty shill number 2. So, where can people find you online?
I'll collect their paycheck from Danny.
Yeah,
later.
really. Yeah. How much are you making for every mention of Sovereignty?
Not enough. You can find us
Not
at
enough.
Gaming with Sidekicks on all of the social media channels, the Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. I put out a lot of content, still putting out content from Gen Con on TikTok, which then
Nice.
bleeds to our Facebook and other stuff. But please, if you're on TikTok, come find us, Gaming with Sidekicks.
Yeah,
there's a lot of cool stuff going on over there. If I can make one other non-us recommendation, go follow Grant Lyons on
Yes.
TikTok, who's doing some of the funniest
Game
stuff.
Rex.
Yeah, Grant's Game Rex is hilarious.
Really.
But also follow us at the same time. So,
Absolutely.
how about yourself, sir?
Yeah, you can find us at One Board Family all over the internets. We are also on TikTok. I've been assisting. I've been doing some videos.
I've
sending
seen
them over
those.
to have Bob post them, and so I think it's been good teaming up on that. And so yeah, so follow us all over the place, and then head over to oneboardfamily.com. I've got a full review of Orlog, a 2-player dice rolling combat game, going tomorrow, Tuesday morning. You can find a full review. So
Love it.
that'll do it. Cool, man. Well, this
It's good
has
to be
been
back, Ryan.
very good. It is very good to be back. So
Yeah, for sure.
hopefully you'll see these more every other Monday night if our schedules work out. And
See you in 2 weeks.
until then, we'll see you later.
Bye.